Hello and welcome to this week's edition of BS with AJ. This week we're going to be continuing the baby bed project. We're going to be on part 4. Now on this video we're going to be finishing up the side rails. We're going to get them all put together and sanded down nice and smooth. Stick around. Now we're going to mark the lines where we're going to put the center of our rails to make sure they're evenly spaced. Alright, now that we have all of our lines marked, as you can see, what we've done here, we marked the center of our rail. So we're going to have an 1.5 inch wide rail, and they're going to be 2 inches apart. So every 3.5 inches, we found our starting point, and then we went 3.5 inches to each center of each one, all the way down to make sure they're all evenly spaced. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take our little square here and we're going to mark 5/8 of an inch on both sides. That's where our 2 screws are going to go on each one of these to hold in our railing. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pre-drill these holes that we're going to fill with plugs here later. But this is where all the screws are going to go to hold our railings together. So, we've got a 3/8 inch drill bit, and we marked it with a piece of tape at 1/4 inch. So we're going to take this and drill down through here until we reach this piece of tape through each one of these marks that we just made. Alright, now we're going to start putting this together. Now we already have our center marks here for our holes where we marked them earlier. So I went ahead and transferred them over to the edge here all the way down on both of the top and the bottom boards here. And then I went ahead and marked the center line on each of the rails. And I'm going to go ahead and use that to line it up to get it pretty close, and then I'm going to use my square to get it perfect. Alright, now we're going to cut out all the plugs we need to fill all the holes for all the screws we just put in. There ends up being 120 altogether, so this is going to take some time. Alright, now that we have all of our plugs cut, we're going to go ahead and take some glue, put a little bit on them, and drive them in with our mouse. Alright, now that the glue's had time to dry, we're going to take our Japanese saw and go ahead and cut all these off flush. Hope you enjoyed this week's project. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any good ideas for other projects that you'd like to see, leave me a comment and I'll get to it. Consider supporting us on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects.